Welcome to Kaks Bar and Podcast, Canada's first podcast bar. What that means is you can come here for food, you can come here for drinks, you can also come here and record a podcast. Come on down, we're located in downtown Calgary, Alberta in the Beltline area. See you soon. And we're rolling. I'm here today again with Yianni. Yianni was one of the comedians at Laughs at Kaks 2. Well, he was there at Laughs at Kaks 1 as well. I got him on the show here, and he brought Nathan. Nathan, are you a comedian as well?
Hello. I'm just beginning.
I've done
it 4 times.
Done it 4 times? Sweet. How'd you do?
I do pretty good. I'm an expert at holding attention, but the laughs are a work in progress. I'm okay.
He doesn't know what he's talking about because we're literally, the 4 times that we've seen him, he's either hustling us or he's a liar because every time he's touched the stage, it's been absolutely phenomenal. So you meet so many people in comedy that either have a comedy background or like I just found out that he has a pair of stilts in his car because he can't be tall enough, right?
I make drywall silky smooth, so the stilts they help out. They're so nice. They're convenient.
Yeah, like how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
6'4"?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not funny looking.
I know.
You know, when I first saw you, I thought Yianni had a bodyguard kind of thing going on.
I'm his chauffeur. So far, I'm basically his chauffeur. I just drive him around places.
It has been really, really strange because yesterday we went to Yucks.
Yeah.
We're on a show there on the 31st, and we're just sitting across from each other, and the hottest girl in the room comes and just sits beside him for no reason for like 3 minutes.
I couldn't believe it, but yeah.
What do you mean that doesn't happen to you?
Well, no, it happens, but like I figured that because like if she thought that I was attractive, I thought she was going to say hi or something, and I didn't. I should have said something, but I didn't. It's just one of those awkward, It
was super awkward. I'm literally staring at her like, what are you doing? Get away from my dad. Like, I have no idea.
So she just gave you like signals and you didn't...
I just didn't take the bait. Take the bait. She was like at a casino. It's like, what's going on here? Someone paid. She paid like this. I don't know. I got weird vibes.
Does she look like potentially a hooker? Or?
I don't know.
We have no concept, but she was with a lot of dudes. So,
yeah.
And then the people right ahead of us, they looked over and they were like, "Do you want some nachos?" I went for a cigarette. I came back. He had gifts from the public around him.
I had like a plate full of nachos. They're like, "Hey, do you want nachos?" And then afterwards, when they left, they thanked me. They said thank you, and I'm like, "What? You gave us nachos? Like, why are you thanking me?" It was an interesting experience.
So what? Like, I'm not even like really understanding. You just kind of got the royal treatment for no reason. It sounds like
totally.
Okay, so you're just keeping him around as like a good luck charm.
Honestly, at this point, just for free stuff. It's stupid because I'm aware that I look like a goblin.
Yianni, you kind of like just you took the thoughts out of my brain just now because I was going to say like I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but comedians used to be funny looking ish, but now there's like you're like a throwback look, but now you got like Nathan on the scene, and it's like. There's like handsome tall Jack guys like being super funny now.
Oh my god, the worst thing would be like I worked theater for a really long time, and in some theaters, as the public is leaving, you'd be standing there saying bye. And I think I've heard the words, you look like Steve Buscemi.
Okay, do you know who you really look like? And this is like 100%. In the Grinch as a kid?
Yeah.
That's who you look like.
What?
Legit. It's like 100%. If you could like supercut a picture,
is it because of the eyebrow? Like the eyebrows?
Just the whole vibe. The whole vibe.
The Grinch. No, the Grinch didn't have a kid, did he?
No, when the Grinch is a kid, like I think it's in the beginning.
Yeah. That's exactly what I look like.
When he's shaving and he's got all the cuts on his face.
Actually, yeah. Now, yeah.
I noticed that yesterday. I didn't say anything, but.
Well, I always thought Yianni just looks like Jack Black, but like with a more scruffy beard,
like a Wish version. We used to bring on Kalon, your host here, for the shows, and we used to bring Kalon on and be like, "Kalon looks like if Jack Black and I had a baby and it fucking sucked," and then he'd just be like, and then people would be like, "Man, you can't say that. People think that his comedy sucks." I'm like, I'm pretty sure that it's getting across what I'm trying to say here. We have it took years of neglect to look like this.
I think you look all right, man.
Today.
Today. You still have a good facial structure. I would say you're a goblin.
I'm very happy that as I get older, I'm getting more attractive. Like my uncles always used to tell me that. It's like, you look really bad now, but
It was like, so it was, this is going uphill?
Yeah, this is going way uphill. Okay. This is going way uphill.
It's just time to start peacocking. You just wear really colorful colors, and then everything will just take care of itself.
Yeah, like today. Like this is nice.
No, you have this yellow jacket. Like, what's up with that?
Oh my God, my gold jacket.
Yeah, like, is that what you're going to wear tonight? Or?
Yeah, we're at a show. We're at Ace Blackfoot Casino tonight, 7:30. And
this will not be out by then.
I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this.
But when this comes out, he was at Ace Black Casino.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. This is perfect.
Sick.
Just become...
That's the coolest jacket I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not even close.
This is nice. Yeah, and it's like a Halloween costume, so for some reason it keeps me cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look gay at all, you know.
That's it doesn't. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing metrosexuality back.
That's brilliant.
Can you even say that anymore?
I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. I took a risk there just saying that looked gay.
Really. Yeah, true.
But what was funny was Nathan. So my cousin came in during the last comedy night, and she's Asian, right? But she came in with a bunch of like white women, and they were all in their 50s, and anyways, looks like a Sex and the City 3 movie. But so then Yianni starts, roasting them, and then he looks over, and I'm like, well, I look over at him like, hey man, that's my cousin, kind of like, go easy, because she did not know it was comedy night. Like they just stumbled in, and then like Yanni's like, which one's your cousin? And I'm like, well, I'm pointing like obviously the Asian one. And he's like, it's 2023. Your cousin could be that sweaty white bitch over there. Like fuck, it's just you just have me like laughing.
Yianni,
like they did nothing to deserve that. They just walked into like the line of fire, and you just like roasted the fuck out of them.
Crowd work is fun.
Crowd work's the future. But if there's a comedian on earth who makes like the least sense, it's Yianni. He just makes no sense. Nothing about him makes sense. Like, and when he's serious, it's like even funnier than when he's trying to tell jokes. I don't know what it is.
People, I've actually just started telling people it's like I'm serious all the time. If I'm funny, it's a coincidence. Like I don't. It's hard to split up, but it is like people want to laugh at themselves, and especially in huge groups of people and friends, like. You can see almost on someone's face what they've been holding in and what they want to say about their friend.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So when you like break that, it becomes a thing in their entire friend group. They'll never forget where it came from, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Right? But it's crowd work is crowd work can be super dangerous, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, like that's what I was trying to touch on. Like in this day and age, you just don't know who like pretends to laugh in the moment, and then later on they're like, "Fuck that guy! I'm about to cancel him" or something like that.
I always wonder who gets into like actual trouble, because it's like so I've been doing stand-up comedy now for almost just over a year, and not once has someone come up and been like, "Did you really do that?" So I'm like, either my stories aren't good enough that people are thinking that it's real, but I'm waiting for it because I've been fantasizing about that moment my whole life. It's like, why would you think that anything I say on stage is true the moment that I start speaking?
The fact that you haven't gotten in trouble just boggles my mind. And add that to the list of things that don't make sense.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Nathan, how old are you?
I'm 31.
30. Okay. Yianni, you're same age, right?
34.
No, 34. Okay.
I just turned 34.
Okay. Do you, I'm 37. I'm older than everyone in this room. But you know what's the thing was I really took notice. Like, I got everything you were doing because, like, we're from that era. Like the Joanne McLeod and Hal Johnson bit, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But, like, I have to say, like, I'm like, young people aren't going to know who that is, So, like, that was the only thing I was thinking about was, like, did you gauge the room and you're like, hey, they all look like my age, so I'm going to rock this joke here,
100%. There's some of the worst rooms that I've ever done. I did a show in Inglewood for a shisha bar that was themed as a Harry Potter space. So it's the potion room. It's actually
my brother would love that shit. He had a Harry Potter themed wedding.
The moment that you walk into that room, you're in a magical place, right? So it's all on one side on all the TVs. It's Harry Potter stuff. On the other side on all the TVs, it's Lord of the Rings. The staff is all in costume. This is my jam. I love that place. So when they're like, do you want to do a show here? I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So I go and I write like 15 minutes of Mary Poppins, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings material. And then I realized about 5 minutes into the set that no one was like giving a shit about it at all. They're all there for shisha. Like everyone's like, who is Neville? Like I literally started, I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? My name is Yianni Assimakis. Neville could have done it in 3 books. Everyone's like, the fuck? And I'm like, okay, I'm never theming comedy towards something ever again.
So did you make the adjustment?
I had to make the adjustment. So I made the adjustment that we're not changing my set. So now we're all going to learn something about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Classes in session.
Just whipped out like a whiteboard. Yeah, I could have used that tutorial because everyone in my family loves like Harry Potter, but I never got into Harry Potter. I tried watching the first one over and over, and I can't. But I am a nerd. Like I love Lord of the Rings. I love like Star Wars, like science fiction shit. But Harry Potter, for whatever reasons, I can never get into that one. I don't know what it is. I have no reason why, because even my brother's like what you says, hey, you like Lord of the Rings, why don't you like Harry Potter? I know it's not the same, but I don't know.
Because it's
just something about it.
When we were growing up, at the exact same age that those books were coming out. You were just a little bit older as well.
Yeah, but as everyone was reading them, for whatever reason, I couldn't get into it, and I don't know why. It's a block. Every time I try to pick it up, like I just dissect what I think is stupid about it. Like
I never read the books, but the second I saw Fantastic Beasts. And I was like, oh, okay, so the Harry Potter universe can be dark.
Yeah.
And, like, wacky stuff can happen. And, like, muggles are just cattle to these, like, really powerful people.
That's the one with Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before the entire...
Never got into it.
You never got into it?
No, I missed that one.
When you tour across the country with people that all they want to do on our days off is watch fucking Harry Potter, it's like, what do you guys want to do? It's like, let's watch every Harry Potter movie. It's like, we did that last year. Let's watch something. What about Jurassic Park? No. You're always going to lose in the theater community to like the nerdy stuff.
Why are you not into nerd shit at all, Nathan?
No. Well, I like Harry Potter. I like Star Wars, Star Trek. So yeah, I'm into nerdy
Star
stuff
Trek.
as well.
You're into Star Trek?
I like Star Trek.
Love
Yeah.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge Star Trek guy.
Did you hear my Jesus joke?
No, no, but do you want to tell it here again?
Well, no. It's like I want to just talk about the premise actually, right?
Yeah,
because
ahead,
I think the premise is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it would be the funniest thing ever if an alien ship came down, hovered over a city for like 2-3 days, when the door opens. And a human that looks just like us walks off the thing, and we're like, "Greetings, we people of Earth, are happy to greet you." And he's like, "Yeah, that's cool. Was Jesus here?"
I kind of remember this.
Because I just think it would be amazing if he was some kind of intergalactic trickster that just was going from planet to planet, messiahing himself, so he could come back and get whatever he wanted whenever. It would crush civilization.
I think South Park, they didn't have Jesus have that, but there was something like they had aliens come down with. There's one of the early ones. Like we're talking about like season 3, but. It was like with an alien comes down. Turns out he's like an international like fugitive or some shit. But okay, you know what? I'm doing this memory injustice. But your premise here, it reminds me of that a little bit.
Family Guy's got a bit where they absolutely roast Jesus alive, and they're like, "Oh, it turns out his skills were like drastically overreached." And they do it. They see him. You know what I'm talking about? Doing the finger trick. It's brilliant.
Man, they attack Jesus hard in that show. Like the seasons where it turns out like everything he does is just to bang people's wives or whatever. Like he pretends he has like a shitty apartment and like goes people into thinking like he's like just lonely and shit or whatever.
I have no matter where I've ever gone taking a joke, the closest that I've ever come to getting in trouble has always been around religion. Always. People are like, you can't talk about the Lord like that. You can't talk about God like that.
Really? Like
it's really weird. So I have a joke.
Where are you performing these? Are you at a church performing these?
No, like just in regular places. People will take the weirdest time out of their day to let you know that like you can't make jokes about Jesus. And then some of them are like comics in the scene that you didn't know
were like Christians or
Christian
whatever.
For a second. And you're like, how can you be here right now? Because family, friends, religion, these are the 3 beasts you must slay if you want to succeed in comedy. Everything's open game.
Religious people are supposed to be the most accepting, the most like live and let live,
Not the I don't know.
I find that funny.
Yeah, I think the Trey Parker, Matt Stone guys nailed it. Like again from South Park, because when they're remember Chef, the guy voiced Chef, because turns out he's a hardcore Scientologist.
Yeah.
So like he was okay with everything being ridiculed except for that. Like that one thing was like, That's why he quit the show. Was
They
over
did him
Scientology.
dirty.
They did
in
him
that
real
last
dirty.
When they killed him, they did him dirty.
And the International Sleep with Kids Club or whatever.
Oh yeah, there were so many things. And
And
they just,
have
like,
you seen Book of Mormon?
Not see. I've seen South Park. I've never seen the play.
Dude, the Book of Mormon is amazing.
Yeah,
If
I
you
want to.
can-
I want to.
If you
Though.
can ever possibly see it live, watch it live. But they literally imagine like your favorite South Park episode, but it's all about one religion, just about Mormonism, and it's like the best part because they have the episode where it'll be like flashing at the bottom of the screen. Where it'll be like we're not making this up.
Yeah.
This actually is what they believe.
Yeah.
And it's you watch the Book of Mormon and you're like, oh my God, how do I start a religion?
True. Yeah.
Like, how can I start a religion?
Yeah, no, the Scientology one was fucking like I basically learned about religion from South Park. If I had to be honest, like just from my background, my parents are Chinese immigrants. We're so far away from the Mormon scene, and then when I saw that South Park, I was an adult, but that's actually when I actually understood oh, this is what's been going on. Yeah, no wonder these people seem.
And is your family Christian or
no? My family, it's hard to even understand what we are. Like we are, I guess, classified as Buddhist.
Okay.
Like my parents, they raised us that way, but there's no like strict way to worship God, if you will. But there is my dad's just like he believes obviously there's something like greater at work. Is like, how the hell did we get here? What is this? There's got to be an explanation.
I'm with Stephen Hawking. The universe is way too stupid for something to not have fiddled with it. Like everything is too. I don't know. It's weird. Agnosticism, I think, is the best thing. Like just play your bets that you don't know what's out there is the smartest thing to admit.
I disagree. Omnism is the best.
What is omnism?
In my
What's
opinion.
omnism?
I just found out about this like a month ago. But it's basically, I find truth in all religions. It's like I'm not strictly, I don't just follow one. It's like you can tell me about your religion. And it's just like, all right, that's cool. I like it.
Okay,
But it's like, I'm not settled to one.
Have you ever seen The Good Place?
Which one's
Great
that
show.
again?
Great
The
show.
Good Place. It's what's his name? Ted Danson.
Who's the girl?
Yeah, who's
in
that
there?
dancing again, man? That name's thrown. I'm remembering all these names.
Kristen Bell's in it.
Did you watch that Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, a little. That's the guy from Seinfeld, right? What's his name?
Larry David.
Larry David. That's his show.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
Larry, did you steal my petunias? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Larry? What is that? I love that show.
No, I never saw. I never got into that show either. But I'm big into comedy shows.
So Ted Danson, huge spoiler for The Good Place. It's been out for a really long time, and I don't care. But it's like in the first 5 minutes of that show. What's her name?
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell, like she's dead, and Ted Danson is sitting there, and he's like, "So you're dead. Welcome to the Good Place."
Oh, it's a religious show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they call it the Good Place and the Bad Place.
Oh, it's heaven and hell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he's like, "You're in the Good Place," and then she asks, "Who was right? Like which religion was correct?"
Yeah.
And Ted Danson goes, every major religion had about 30% of it correct. But," and then he points to a picture on the wall, but Tyler Dorsett from Calgary, he was on a mushroom trip with a friend, and he just went off about what happens after we die, and he got about 96% of it correct. We couldn't believe what we were hearing.
Fuck. Yeah, no, I never saw that. But okay. Well, what did he say in the show? What did he say was correct?
As you watch the show, you just understand that it's just this whatever he was saying. Like they never say what he said.
Okay.
But it's just it always blows my mind that someone has been statistically correct at least once.
Someone's got to know. Someone's got to have said it, just like in passing.
I don't know, man. I've heard some creepy stories. My cousin, apparently, her mom, they were trying to have a kid for like a really long time, and then they finally have her. Right, but like before that, there was 2-3 unfortunate miscarriages. So one day they're at the beach, right? The same beach that her mom miscarried in, like a year ago, and then the girl says, "Mom, isn't this where I died?"
What?
And I'm like, what the actual? Like, every time I hear that story, I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, is it a conveyor belt? Like, do you die and then boom, you're just back in?
Yeah.
That would make sense to me, and that would explain a lot of things, like reincarnation, like kids with cancer. Like, it would explain.
Well, man, I mean, yeah, as a podcast, we can talk about whatever, but I don't know. My parents have always kind of explained to me, based on their understandings of Buddhism, that this is actually hell. Like, we're actually like, we're from somewhere else, and you know, we're in different stages of hell. That's why some people are born with a really crappy hand, and some people have a better hand, right? It's like, and then the main goal is to be good, and be good from the real reasons of why you be good, not be good just to benefit yourself. You're supposed to be as good as you can to build back up that credit, if you will, and then to get out of this realm of like flesh, you know, like that's the, like, so heaven's not this accelerated, like this advanced place. It's like, that's actually like the place, the central place. Like, so that she always like explained, like, well, the fact that you're not born missing an arm or a leg is because you probably had some decent karma in the other place, but not enough karma that you get to go back out of this realm. Like, so basically, like, that was ingrained in me ever since a kid, to be good, try to be good. But obviously I stray, you know, I have my own whatever, you know, like,
we're all human.
We're human, literally. Like, our bodies are designed to make us do contradictory things to what our soul should do to be good, you know, like we're not supposed to be like trying to check out like 100 girls and whatever, but our body's making us want to, you know. So it's like, I mean, that's one that I always try to get my parents
where do you separate like society from like the animal that we are the moment society falls?
And like, to further on that is just more also like, I mean, we're half the time we're just like constantly working to not do that thing our animal body wants us to do. So we're always just like so like stretched thin, like trying not to give into our fucking animal desires.
I just watched a thing about how, like, when you're standing on a ledge and you're looking over, I thought that I was messed up my whole life. That I was like,
what do you mean?
You've done it. We've all done this. You're standing on a ledge,
the thought,
and then you have the urge to jump. It's called
like to commit suicide.
It's called something of the void. I can't remember what it is, but it's
Jim Carrey's got a bit about this. He's like, when you're shaving, thinking about like shaving your tongue or something.
Have you ever had a barber shave you with a flat razor?
No, this is as much facial hair as I ever get. So I just got facial hair this year.
I shaved this morning. I've never had the nuts to sit in the chair and let the guy actually like take the razor to my throat.
He's thinking, that be it?
Oh yeah, what if his wife left him that day and everything is awful?
And he's like,
nice.
he's like, this guy looks like my wife.
Yeah, this guy.
His throat.
Fuck, The Grinch was my wife's favorite movie.
Oh god.
Yeah, but apparently it's a TED. So it was a TED Ed thing. TED Ed is like, you know, TED Talks.
Yeah.
TED Ed are these videos about just little things, probably for kids, and why you feel the urge to jump off a cliff.
Okay.
So apparently it's your brain's way of just double checking that you are indeed healthy.
Elaborate.
You could do that a little better.
Yeah.
Elaborate. What do you mean? Okay,
the fear of the void, right? Like the fear of something. When you're standing at a ledge and you want to jump, it's almost like your brain is checking that you actually realize that you are in fact mortal and this is dangerous.
Okay.
Would that be your id, your ego, or your super ego?
Nobody still knows.
That's so confusing.
This entire thing, we still don't know. But it's like the knowledge of knowing that there's something super dangerous right there. Your brain, your self-conscious is doing way more work than you think to keep you safe. When was the last time that you did something where you had so much focus that you like snapped back to reality? Like you were playing a video game or you were like doing something and you, all of a sudden you're like, I wonder what I want to eat. And then you're like, oh, I'm doing something like really important. But then the second you come back, you start to fail.
I'm kind of understanding your question, but like, elaborate more.
Like on a long road trip, and you realize you've been driving for 45 minutes, and then you wake up, and it's just like, whoa.
About zoning out.
Yeah, zoning out.
I zone out all the time whenever I'm bored. But
are you aware how many times like an F1 driver zones out?
Oh yeah,
or like a pilot or a surgeon. I guarantee you,
a pilot might be zoning out. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that Sunwing pilot that was super hammered or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does. It does happen. Even when you're playing Mario Kart, dude, somewhere around that 4th, 5th lap, you're like, I'm really hungry. And you're like, God, your brain does like all this work. And I think that it's just watching that video. I'll leave a link to it when you post this, if anyone wants to watch it. But it's really confusing because psychologists don't know, doctors don't know. People who have like jumped off of things and survived don't understand why. Like, it's just like, it's...
Yianni, so you seem like you're actually, well, not actually, it's not condescending when I say that, but comics are also very intelligent people. Like everyone, like people, they don't realize, most comics, they're analyzing life and all that shit all the time, right? Like, so would you say like getting to know you a bit better? Like, are you pretty like nerdy dude behind the scenes?
I'm a really nerdy dude.
Like not just Star. I mean,
India just landed on the moon, and I was like, it's not even hard. Like, you can train yourself in Kerbal Space Program for like 5 hours to realize how easy that was. Put someone on the moon, and then try and get them back. We'll be a little bit more impressed. But India landing on the moon isn't like. We've been doing it a lot. It's super easy. I'm pretty sure we could do it remotely now. I
sound again ignorant. Like, what do you mean? You're saying like just to get a rocket to propel from here to there is super easy? Like,
we're not super none easy. None of it is easy.
But none of it is
talking like it's super easy.
Yeah, none of it is.
You make it sound like we could do this right now. We're like, hey, you know what? Fuck the podcast. Let's go.
Once orbital mechanics. Once you're around the Earth, getting to the moon. Things get way easier once you're out of this atmosphere.
You know what? It's that jacket getting to your head. You're too confident. You got to take it off. You got to take it off.
That's not a lab coat, bro.
Yeah. This jacket. This came from lunar rover material that never went out of the capsule.
I knew it.
It's a huge achievement, and it's absolutely amazing. And what I keep trying to tell people is that the best part about it happening isn't that we're back on the moon. Just fun fact, there's nothing there. But like helium-3...
You seem very confident about that.
Helium-3, it rocks, okay?
What about the dark side of the moon?
Huh?
What about the dark side?
We'll talk about that in a second. But getting there makes it possible for our kids to be on the moon probably within 30, 40 years.
You know, Yianni, like, because I have absolutely no understanding of, like, I was not good at physics. I don't know shit about space and the moon. Like, but the way you're sounding so confident, like, I'm about to, like, assimilate this into my brain as if it's fact. So... Don't fuck me up. No. Like, I hope the guy you're telling me what you're saying is true.
Most important, getting to the moon and getting to the moon as often as possible is super important because from the moon, we can go anywhere we want. Every rocket right now is 8% of the payload, the actual satellite or the people or the whatever, and the rest of it is fuel. If we can start using the helium that's on the moon to make fuel and launch from the moon, we can go anywhere we want because we don't have to leave that 2 kilometer thick that column, that 2,000 pound column of air that is constantly keeping us down.
Okay. Wow. Again, I have no way of.
Like on the moon, you're just like you turn on your rocket and you're like, whoop, you just float. You'll just float away. There's no atmosphere. There's no nothing. It takes the amount of propulsion coming out of the bottom of a rocket is called delta V. You need very little of it to go either back to the Earth or or Mars or anything. And India doing this as easy as they did it. Just shows that we're on track for the 20, 30, 40 years being able to do stuff like that from the moon.
So you got $1 billion jacket on right now. I don't think there's a billionaire comedian. Maybe you'll be the first. So will you colonize the moon and get the first interdimensional space station going on the moon? Will you announce this today? Today at Kaks Bar.
Yeah, you know what?
What is it, galactic?
No, I want to be the first. I want to be the first comic to do a set from orbit.
Okay. That's fair.
Like, that'd be dope.
Yeah, just call me to repopulate or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I can sign up for that. Yeah, if we're using President Yianni here.
I would never run for office. I would.
What about the moon, though?
Yeah, that's right.
But what do you know about? Okay, now you got me into like little science fiction brain thinking. Like, what do you know then about beyond like is Mars colonizable? You know, like do we just
Mars?
go there?
The hardest part about Mars, and we're going to learn this pretty quick, is when we get there, we're most likely going to be living underground, because we have in the middle of our planet a gigantic hot iron ball that's spinning, and that creates an electromagnetic field that protects us from all of the radiation that's not only coming from the sun but the rest of the cosmos. Mars doesn't have that. So to protect ourselves from all of that so that we don't get cancer the moment that we start colonizing it, we're either going to be underground or we're going to have to develop shielding or something.
I didn't mind how confident you were about the moon, but talking about Mars, something's just like irking me. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like how confident you sound about Mars.
What's
What's the difference between Mars and the moon? Why is the moon not giving us cancer immediately?
Okay, well, as you pass, the NASA astronauts the Apollo astronauts had to pass through a belt around the Earth. That is all of the radiation that's coming at us is going around our planet, and they had to pass through it. And they passed through it for like a day and a half, and it was about like having 1,000 chest X-rays, right?
All right.
Now on the surface of the moon, again, that whole mission was 3 days. So. That's a great question, actually. Maybe I
feel like I stumped him. I might have stumped him. I don't know.
Honestly, like you're explaining to him because I just believe everything you're saying because you sound so confident.
Maybe we're
I have no knowledge on this topic.
I'm sure that it's still a problem, but maybe we're close enough to the Earth that some of it is still getting deflected. But when we're in front of the Earth, I don't know. I'm not a physicist. I have so many.
You sound like you're a physicist.
I have a lot to Google. I read a lot. I read everything that comes out. That's a good question.
Maybe it's the journey time from Earth to Mars is so much longer. You're dealing with that much more cancer-causing chemicals. So maybe you were right.
No, there's no electromagnetic field that protects the planet Mars. So every time if the sun has we have aurora borealis, right? Because of our core, and because everything is moving to the north and south magnetic poles on this planet. Mars doesn't have that, right?
I bet Elon's got an idea. I bet he's got like 10 different ideas.
Yeah, it's some wonderful shielding, but like the dream that I have of like these wonderful glass bubbles, and you're actually literally living on the surface of it.
Yeah,
right?
like all the way all science fiction shows have predicted the way the future.
Probably not going to be a reality. Because unless you can create like something that's see-through and reflects everything that's coming, the same way like, I don't know, like a UV tinted clear sunglasses, but way better, right? Like you could have that problem. Have you ever heard of the Carrington event?
No.
In 1886, the sun farted so hard that it fucking fried every single thing that was electrical on the planet, which in 1886 was like 5 things. So everyone was just like, "Oh, this is broken."
What do you mean by the sun farted on it?
We had a solar flare. We had a solar flare in 1886 that was so volatile and so energetic that it fried everything, every single circuit, and every electrical component on the planet.
Wait, remember like Y2K? Remember, like, are you talking about Y2K happened in 1886 or whatever?
Y2K was because of Y2K was a digit change. We were like, "Oh shit, we never programmed our computers to switch over."
Oh, I remember Y2K is supposed to be all technologies.
Yeah,
like,
because no one coded the computer to count to 2000. Because of the way that we were coding computers, we were all wondering what was going to happen when the computer got to 2000. Is the thing going to flip over to 2001? Is it going to go to 0? Are all these computers going to stop working? Like it was a software event of the century, because they were like, what's going to happen? Because we only taught the computers to count this far. So that's what the whole Y2K thing was about, which is like...
Okay, go on.
Right? When the sun releases a huge solar flare, like we protect our satellites from some of them, we shield them for this stuff. Mm-hmm. But that event had so much energy that it would still fry anything that we shielded. Your phone would be dead. All computers would be gone. We would literally be Stone Age overnight. And that happened in 1886.
Okay. But back then, 1886, there wasn't much
There was
digital
like
tech
two,
anyway.
there was like two phones.
Yeah, because like if we're in a time machine and you went from any point in time prior to 1886 or whatever, you can kind of adapt again because everything's still about being physical.
That's 100%
you know,
true.
It's like now I would say we're the most unnormal based on every other part of history that we know of. I mean, unless this has happened already a million times, because what the Earth is what 1 billion years old,
4.2 billion years old. It's got to have happened.
Yeah,
before.
like the civilization must have crested to like the peak of scientific.
For all we know, the amount of energy coming from a solar flare is what like started life in some puddle full of amino acid. Like we have no idea. Like it was some kind of energetic enough that started a chemical reaction that started us. Like,
well, okay. Let me ask you guys this then. Again, podcast any direction of conversation. Where do you think we're in the best time of history per se? Even though there's all this technology, you
absolutely not.
You go first.
Right? Okay, yeah. Go.
You
Nathan.
go first.
I think we've got huge potential if we all shut the fuck up and just like realize that we're all humans. We're all like one part of the species and kind of like stop fighting.
Yeah.
Because we've got the basis, we've got the foundation, but we're just like, we're so interested in such like minuscule minor issues and we're just fighting right now. So
yeah, because of that ego thing we all have, really. That's really what it comes down to. But without that, there'd be no uniqueness too, right? I don't know.
True.
I don't know, because I just feel like, just look around sometimes. I'm like we should be happier because everyone has food, shelter, clothing, and even when you don't have food, shelter, clothing, you can kind of get it, like using this. I've got to go into debt with this magical like credit card thing. But like, yeah, it is debt, but at least you can get some food that moment. In the past, imagine being hungry, like you're really fucked until you get some food.
I had an ex who was into crypto, and I bought her a book about the tulips in the Netherlands, like the first ever thing. Someone was just like, "You see this tulip? You see its color? It's worth money." It's like that's literally the same thing that you're doing with your crypto.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Okay, but for some reason right now it's like there seems to be this huge negative energy everywhere. You know, you feel it, like something doesn't feel right. You know, because like I mean, we're just so, as Nathan's saying, our priorities are absolutely in the wrong place. But it keeps compounding because the momentum of how everything works. Like even this show, it's like we're just guys now talking. Like watch us talk, you know, in a way, like who the fuck are we? Why should you watch us talk? Yet, like that's the business I'm in, trying to get people to watch us talk. And I'm like, what am I doing?
You're teaching people to listen to others' point of views because they can't, when they're watching this, they can't react and they can't respond. They have to listen. Like it's incredible. It's what makes a good interviewer. It's honestly like after watching a couple of the ones that you were doing, why like I wanted to be here so bad. It's like it doesn't matter what direction it goes in. A person's point of view is their point of view, and it's important. Like it's important. You don't, when someone's done speaking to you, you don't have to correct them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I didn't correct nothing you said. I'm not even saying that in a condescending way. I literally was just like that sounds crazy awesome. Like I had no concept of any of that. Like I forgot my grade 4 science. Like, you know, so when you're explaining everything, I'm like, because I was just thinking more like shows like Star Trek. I'm like, did they do that in that show? Like, but then I'm thinking again, like, wait, the people who wrote it, are they physicists? You know, like how do they know this? How everything works?
Consultants and a lot of questions. I'm sure. Like it's super cool. I wish. Like Kip Thorne, like the black hole in Interstellar.
I remember Interstellar. I don't. Who's Kip Thorne?
Kip Thorne is the physicist who was the scientific consultant on that movie. He's a brilliant.
Was he Matt Damon or was he?
No, he's not even in the movie. He's
that's McConaughey.
Yeah,
that was him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's literally he did all of the scientific consulting and everything for Christopher Nolan on that movie.
Oh, okay.
And then what ends up happening is they give him like $2.5 million to come up with the black hole. And the simulation was so good that the black hole in Interstellar for a while is the best image that we have of a computer-run black hole, of what we think it would look like. Because it's super neat and it's super nuts to the eye. Because when you think about the black hole in Interstellar, you see that whole disk that's going around it, and then you see the one that's going above it. The one that's going above it is the one that's going around it. You can just see them all at the exact same time, and everyone's looking at it being like, "Is this weird?" And they have to be like, "No, our $2 million simulation says this is what it is."
again, yeah, I don't even the science part of Interstellar was again. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Until the last 30 minutes, it was awesome. Until the last 30 minutes, it was awesome.
So I'm still having I'm not a science guy. I'm like I still didn't really get all that happened, but I just remember when I watched that movie, like I just had so much like emotion as I was watching because it was so emotional. I was sitting there like, I can't take this anymore. Like he's like seeing his daughter 90, waiting this time to see him. He's gone for 2 seconds. Like I just remember being like, I don't know, just like this explosion of emotion. I actually had to turn it off. I didn't get what the fuck was happening. It was just so emotional.
It's that Max Richter, that music. I hear that. It's the violin, the cello. I don't know what it is, but that just like you feel that.
Like do you get an overload? I get an overload. I literally.
When he's crying at Merv on the screen, it gets me every time.
I start crying. I don't know what I was crying at.
You're crying because you're like a human brain should not be able to contemplate any of what just happened, right? Like that's insane. Do you have any younger brothers or anything?
I'm the youngest, but I'm the biggest. So
you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
How much older is your brother than you?
My brother's a year and a half older, but he's small.
So imagine your brother. Than me, so imagine your brother got in a spaceship, went for a year and a half at the speed of light, came back, and he's a year and a half, or I don't know what the math. He's 4 years younger than you are, right?
Right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel so stupid sometimes. Shows like Interstellar come out and Inception, where I'm sitting there like, I really don't understand what just happened.
He's going to talk to Yianni. He'll
explain it all perfectly. Next time, here's my favorite fact about that movie. Next time you watch it, when they're on the water planet, with the ticking that you hear is something like 23 days on Earth.
Oh, wow. That much time is just passing by super fast.
Every single time that tick goes off, it's a certain amount of time on Earth, and that's why they put it in there.
Man, yeah, it was on Rogan's podcast recently. There's some theory about like it's not really aliens out there. It's just us doing the interstellar thing, going back in time, trying to like correct our shit. Because I guess like we're trajectorying to some kind of mega wrong move. Probably like a nuclear disaster.
Well, and just like what you asked about when we live and like where we are in history, I think I hate it because I was born too late to explore the planet, and either too early or stupid to explore like space. Like I think that
too late to explore the planet, too early to explore space.
Because almost every single thing on the planet has been either mapped by someone in a ship or an explorer or some kid at home with Google Earth.
Is there still uncontacted tribes?
Yeah.
Potential.
So there's still some stuff, right? But exploring,
especially the oceans, like basically fully discovered, right?
That can fuck right off.
That's where you draw the line.
100%. When people are like, how are you so into space and all this and play these games and you're so afraid of the ocean? I'm like, because I can see the bottom of the moon. Okay? I can see the bottom of the moon. There's no puddle of the moon.
What's the difference between being in space and being underwater?
Because the amount of pressure that a spaceship has to keep out is approximately zero. All right? Where we just watched 5 guys explode like a couple months ago.
Yeah. Those super rich guys.
Literally explode. I didn't know this, but apparently at those depths, it's called anabiotic pressure.
Yeah, I actually had he was supposed to be on the podcast. He's in the military for Canada in one of our submarines. Young dude. He was doing a recruitment at the Stampede, and then he just walked by Kaks Bar, walked in, still in his Marine outfit and everything.
Cool.
And then he sat down and he was curious about what this was. We ended up having a long talk, like it was supposed to be 2 minutes, just like hey, what is this? Turned into him sitting down, but he's like, don't record this. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then we ended up chatting for an hour and a half. But yeah, he's like he's literally in the military. Like he told me some confidential stuff that I'm not going to repeat because. I basically.
Well, yes, the Canadian military knew right away when it exploded.
Well, no, it was just more like I know now our weapons capabilities. I know where we got our ships. I know how he explained how the sonar shit works, and we're actually very like our fleet's actually pretty solid. But what we do with it's like that's the guy who'd be sent on classified missions on the country's behalf to explore parts of. You know what I mean? Like, or set bomb. But anyway, he said what you said. He said, like, they instantaneously crushed and, like, basically, like, imploded. Those 5
explode.
guys. Yeah, like just
Could be worse.
Yeah, like they were dead fast. Like people like they thought they're still alive for 3. No, like they were like
not even that. Not even that. It's awesome. That is cool. Once I found out that you blow up, like you actually detonate. Like from like just, I was like, okay, so it's a kind of a cool way to die, I guess.
I mean, I'd rather die with loads of coke and hookers, but but exploding with 5 dudes, trapped in the size of a bathroom. I guess that's another way to go.
There was a kid on it who wanted to be like a Guinness World Record. Like he wanted to do the Rubik's Cube, like lowest on the ocean. Imagine
what a random goal to have.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I guess. But at the same time, I mean, they kind of reap what they sowed, right? Like, let's go jump in this little pod and you all know what you're doing, all right? Like they probably like no offense, Yianni, but they probably came off as confident. The guy, explaining what they're going to be doing, and then everyone's like if you explain, okay, if we were sailors again in like frontier days, and you're like, come with me on this ship, but you were like that enthusiastic, and like I have no concept about anything else, and I'm not saying you didn't know what you're saying, like I have no way to verify that, but I would rather take a chance and follow and see what's going on than sit around and do nothing. So you led me to my death.
See, you know what? That's the best part. It's a Google check. Is carbon fiber good for this? Like it's anything. Everything that I can say can be verified by some bald guy on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So if you had a choice, 1700s sailing the ocean, or submarine going to view the Titanic, or the moon, I think sailing the ocean would probably be the last one, because that's a slow death. Moon. If you fall off, you're just in the ocean for as long as you can tread water.
I think you'd die pretty fast. I don't even know, because like humans back in the 1700s. Oh, by the way, we'll finish in 5 minutes here, so you guys, because we're at the 5 o'clock, and Yianni has a show tonight, and again, by the time this airs,
busy man.
Yeah,
I'll play it at the end as well.
Are you performing as well, Nathan?
No, we could have performed last night, but that didn't work out.
Okay, you should come to the Laughs at Kaks on Thursday.
He is here Thursday.
Here. Okay, I don't know if I'm performing or
you are here. Yeah, you are.
I am. I guess.
Give me some 5 minutes. Oh man, okay, what was I gonna say? Man, I was on a.
Talking about 1700s.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say that in 1700s, like people were probably way more fit. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
So they probably could tread for an hour. Like maybe that was like a no factor, because back then people just people got to realize like they were more fit. Everything was so fit. Your life was the gym,
especially sailors.
I can't remember the last time I did something where my life depended on it.
And you might not ever have to in this era we're in. I think maybe that's the crux of why there's all these like maybe we're not our actual engagement with our surroundings are not as dangerous as.
Let me challenge that. I'll challenge that. You were standing by a building and you had the thought to jump off. Your life depended on not jumping off.
Okay, so well played. Yeah. Call of the void. So as a Canadian citizen, it started snowing and I didn't have a jacket and I was like, fuck. Then I just open a door and I go inside, call somebody to come pick me up. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Maybe things are too easy. I don't know.
I think about it sometimes.
I think about it all the time, just because I don't know. I just have this gnawing feeling all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is great, and don't get me wrong. I'm going to continue to enjoy my day. Like I'm enjoying this podcast with you fellas, but I'm like, something's not right. I can't put my finger on. Something's not right with the trajectory. What are we doing here?
I'll be optimistic. I'll inject some optimism into this conversation. I think we're in a cultural renaissance. I think we're heading into another 60s. We're heading into another hippie movement where we're realizing what's important. I hope that's where I think we're going. So I think we're on a good trajectory.
How?
Because podcasts. Everyone has access to talking.
Yeah.
Everyone has the internet. Everyone has access to making money. If we have some kind of universal basic income thing, I think there's huge potential.
We're also getting fed up with being told what is right and what is wrong, when we are all every creature in the universe instinctively knows the difference between right and wrong, or good and evil, or good and bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't even know if those things exist. Those are all ideas.
Even the atheists can agree that there is a moral compass that we all share.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see it in animals too. You don't see I think I heard that a bear is the only couple known animals that does kill its cubs. But other than that, even you see animals, they're they just instinctively care for their young. It's we're not just kicking babies. You know what I mean? It's Yeah, you're right. But there's just something, I don't know, it's just the way we're going about things. There's some kind of extreme selfishness thing. Like
I haven't heard the words from someone else's mouth. I'm sorry, I was wrong in like 5 years. Or I haven't heard the words. Yeah. I haven't heard the words. I've never thought of it like that. Or thank you for elucidating me.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Honestly, everybody needs to be a professional. Everybody needs to be everyone. There's a stone tablet that some guy chiseled a complaint on from like 1000 BC, where it's like everyone wants to write a book. The kids are all disrespectful, right? It's like these things.
That was you. That was you 1,000 years ago.
These things don't really change, but what we got to do is when we realize that we have a position of influence, like you do with the show, or like what we do with the.
We're just starting, but thanks.
Yeah, like,
I plan to be in a stronger position of influence, but
and it'll happen soon, because like when you're not curating to just one way, or you're not trying to explain to people like what the right thing is. When you show that everything is gray, it's not just black and white. We live in a complicated world with a lot of things going on, but there are things that we need to pay attention to more than others, and we've lost ourselves a little bit, right? It's why like podcasts like this are so important, and why you need to take some real fucking risks on stage so that you can get people laughing not only at your jokes, but at shit that had no business being funny, and I usually just call that the truth.
Jeez, go Yianni. I got winded down because they have to get out of here for.
This could go for another 2 hours. Easy.
It's true. And hey, welcome. Like, come on the show again. I'm always. I love these kind of talks. This is why I do this.
After this ends, we'll probably be at Ace Casino Blackfoot, probably in September, and you'll be here next Thursday at Kaks. I'll be here next Thursday at Kaks.
This is an amazing studio, amazing bar. I love it.
Thank you.
Dope vibe.
Awesome.
Really fun.
How long do I have you for? Because this is because of Big Brother, Big Sister.
Oh, yeah.
It's a make-believe.
It kind of looks like that.
That was the vibe we were getting yesterday. Oh my god!
Oh man, Nathan's like, just let him talk. Let him. He'll talk himself out in 20 more minutes. So.
Thank you so much, Shawn.
Yeah. Okay, all right, okay. But Yianni and Nathan's information will be on the show notes there. Okay, bye guys. Bye.